5, 4, 3.
Welcome, everyone, and pull up a seat at the table. It's Lunchtime in Rome. Tonight's episode 286 is titled Bella is Back. 2 years into college and a year and a half removed from being at the table. What's new with Bella? We'll be talking with her at the table this evening, so pull up a seat and join us. First-time listeners can subscribe on your favorite podcast app or watch us live or later on YouTube at Lunchtime in Rome. You can also visit us at lunchtimeinrome.com, and while there, take our relational needs questionnaire. Make sure to follow us on all social media, and it'd be great if you could give us a 5-star review. Jay, what specifically is this podcast about?
At the table, we strive to love one another and help you to do the same. Some weeks we will have someone join us, like tonight, so that you can get to know them and learn a little bit about yourself in the process. Other weeks, we dive into a topic. Romans 12:15 says to rejoice with those who rejoice and mourn with those who mourn. Well, that's what we do. So while it may not be 12:15 in Rome, we're treating it like it is lunchtime in Rome. Good old J.D. Willie joining us tonight.
Hey, J.D. Willie. All right.
Love it. Yo. He says yo, and
Yo,
we say yo.
yourself, J.D.
Yo.
Who here knows J.D.?
I don't know.
We all know J.D.
all know
What's
JD.
up, J.D.?
Sorry. I'm getting back to...
More cheering?
Okay. No.
Oh, okay.
Chris, what are you doing tomorrow?
Tomorrow, oh my gosh. Tomorrow is my last day with students for the year. That could
you
get
never
some
know.
applause. Yeah.
Could be forever.
Yes, thank you. It could, you never know what tomorrow may bring. It could be my last day forever. But
That's even dark.
That's
Man,
new.
we've got to become that podcast. Ironic.
yeah, but it's been a push through the end of the year. Nothing terrible, but just a lot of unsettling. Just Google McKeesport Area School District if you want to know more. But just a lot of changes, a lot of things up in the air, a lot of weird news reports or weird happenings that honestly, at least in the immediate, they don't affect me directly, except that they affect my psyche. You know what I mean? Like they weigh on me, or they ping at my emotional armor a little bit, my mental capacity. And so man, I am just ready. I'm just ready for a vacation.
Yeah.
I need a little break from the
Yeah.
Speaking of vacations.
tomorrow's my last day with students.
Right.
No. What are you talking about?
Are you going to the Titusville of the Outer Banks?
Oh, yes. Yes, we are. That's coming up, though. That's 3 weeks or 4 weeks
Yeah,
away
but
or
that's
something.
coming.
It's coming. No, it's definitely something to look forward to. I also have to, gosh, this is going to be the summer of travel for me.
Oh.
The first one's sad.
Sure.
My sister and I are driving down to Florida. I might have mentioned it last week. Going down to Florida to Jacksonville to, among other things, pick up my father's ashes. Do you know my dad died, Bella?
I was told.
Okay. So that's,
She sent you a
I'm
card.
sorry for your loss.
we made sure he was dead before the ashes. Sorry, a little dark.
Letting that go.
And, to kind of go through his personal belongings and just sort through some things. And so
Kinda
that's
weird.
Yeah, it's going to be an awkward
Especially,
trip.
where did he lived by himself?
No, he lived with my cousin.
Right.
Yeah.
So are they still living there?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. So there's
So
some
the good stuff's been picked.
All the jewelry.
Maybe. So that's weird, and it's also it's a quick trip. It's not a vacation. It's driving all the way down to Jacksonville, hurrying through some things for a day and probably just a day, and then whoosh, back up.
It's a nice disc golf course down there, though.
I don't know.
That's not your style.
It's always the disc golf course.
We got to say I can't take my discs. We got to save every single bit of room for things we might need to bring back, which could be nothing. We don't know.
You don't know.
I said last week I already found his records, so
There's nothing left at
no.
that point. I mean,
So that was the important thing.
well, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, and then we're also
Not pretty cool at all.
no,
Quite sad.
It's quite appropriate.
and we are doing Ocracoke again as usual for a couple weeks. So
Titusville
that's
of the Outer Banks.
what we like to call it. Yeah. And then later, this is middle of July. I know I'm looking way ahead, but again, summer of travel.
By the way, that's a month away.
So not that far.
Not at all.
Oh my gosh.
School's just right around the corner after
Stop
that.
it. I know.
Don't
I started
start.
thinking that the
Don't
other day.
start.
As I approach summer now, like summer used to feel like it's an eternity. It's this gulf of time that just is like, I can't even see the other side. And as I get older, it's like, you know, June 1st is here and I'm like, whew, it's almost August 25th, you know? But Amy and I are, so speaking of 25th, we're celebrating our 25th anniversary this summer.
2-5er.
So we're going to a place that nobody thinks we should go in the middle of July, which is New Orleans. And
I hear it smells lovely.
especially in July.
Yes.
Yeah.
Maybe
So-
August.
Yeah.
You know.
We're excited. I mean, yes, it's going to be hot.
How
but
long?
It's going to be like a week in all, but that's because part of the time we're driving, which we
Nice.
like to do.
And for you guys, like 9 hours.
Exactly. Well,
The
a piece of cake.
everywhere is like 8.5 hours away.
Sure.
Yeah. Inside joke. Sorry. But
No, we busted your chops on the podcast.
right. Yeah. Look back at the. Anyway,
This time last year.
probably right.
Yep.
When we were heading down to Atlanta.
Wow. Think about that.
That's been.
It
yeah.
feels like 5 years.
It does
ago.
feel like 5 years. I can't believe it was only 1 year ago. We were at the marriage retreat. Yeah, it's crazy.
Staff intensive, I believe.
Intensive.
Yeah.
It's not just a marriage retreat. It's a marriage intensive
Well, it is intense.
retreat.
Sure.
Listen, in my marriage, I retreat every day.
Well, and that's a problem.
Wow.
It's a joke, everybody.
And there's a little bit of seriousness. in
No.
Every joke. Isn't that right, dummy? So, get it? I did it right there. Hey, for me, big day today. Got the new oven.
Ooh.
Finally.
Finally, we got an oven again, and it was really kind of cool. The one guy that installed it was a Penn Hills grad in class of 22, played football, and said that we always gave his tackles to these two other guys.
Well,
And I was like, well, that's Todd's fault. That's not my fault. I'm just a mouth. He's the one who calls out the numbers.
That's hilarious. He knew who to go, whose house
No,
he
I
was
said,
going
"You
to.
played no, he didn't.
Oh,
I said, you
okay.
played football. I did the announcing. He's like, yeah, you always gave my tackles to Luke Pugliese and Carter Lance.
Oh man,
But,
that's rough.
And then I turned the oven on, to make sure it works and everything else. And I'm like, man, it really smells like plastic.
I smelled it
Yeah.
upstairs.
So
was
I took
oh, great.
I took the grates out, the racks.
Okay.
Washed them out and everything else. Googled and they're like, oh, for brand new ovens,
Sure.
it can smell like that from whatever. And then I looked, yeah, there was a bag on the back that had like instructions on it. I took it off.
Yeah.
That's good.
It should smell less moving
Yeah.
forward. But that was fun. And I mean, absolutely crazy busy times. Like doing 2 full-time jobs is quite a lot. But it's also very rewarding. And the one, the one way I describe now being on Young Life staff again, I went to a volleyball match and there were, I don't think I shared this at the table, that I went and I was talking to a kid and he really wasn't excited that I was there. And so I was like, all right, I'm going to go over here now. And I was talking to some parents that I knew up in the stands and some that I kind of knew. Okay. And then I went down and then I was talking to some guy that I thought was like a grandparent. Turns out he's an administrator at the high school that I hadn't met, which is weird. So, I'll get to meet him. And then I wandered over to the snack bar and there were 2 parents working, but I didn't know them. And I said, oh, you guys freshman parents? And like, yeah. I'm like, who are your sons? And I knew both of their kids and I talked to them for a while. And they're like, what are you doing? And I'm like, well, I used to coach. And then I got in. So I went like coaching into starting the PH family, into Young Life, into being a pastor, and gave him the gospel. And I was like, all right, am I here as a Young Life guy? Am I here as a pastor? And I was like, oh, I'm just here representing Christ. Oh, like we're always supposed to do. But it's been fun and not having that pressure. And the puzzle pieces, which I know I've mentioned here before, I keep getting more puzzle pieces, which is really exciting. Like
You're still getting more?
Oh, yeah. I walked into Lost and Found Pharmacy, and there was a regular / teacher there. And they said to me, hey, Jay, I want to help you with your special needs ministry. And I was like, whoa, because we have a ministry called Capernaum, which reaches out to high school
okay.
students with special needs.
This is through Young Life.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
And I'm like, yeah. She goes, yeah, I was reading about that. And I went, oh, sweet. That is great. I said, so tell me, where were you reading that? Because like I remember writing it somewhere. And she was like, oh, it's in the church newsletter for her church. And I was like, oh, right. And I'm like, okay, sweet. She's like, I don't want to run it, but I'll help. And I'm like, cool. So now
So she goes to some other church.
Hebron.
Oh, okay. And
Yeah.
did you write it up for them or was it for the website?
It was. They asked me like we were their mission spotlight.
I remember you went to speak but that was a different.
That was completely different.
Okay.
That was more book related.
Gotcha,
On
right.
courage. But nonetheless, that's one of the new puzzle pieces that I can put together. And then I was thinking more about the ministry of wildlife, which we started a couple years ago, which is junior high young life.
Oh, I thought you were like ministering to animals.
Yes,
In the
raccoon. Actually,
jungle.
I did pay for grub prevention for this year, even though I knew it wasn't grubs that the raccoons ate my yard last year.
Oh, yeah.
But I'll be dadgummed if they eat my yard this year. Though this is really not worth our time.
I love
But
it.
I was putting, disc golf putting in my backyard last night. And I looked, and there's this like, the grass is pushed down in a straight line at the top of the hill in my backyard.
Okay.
All the way across the yard.
Okay.
And I'm like, did it rain, but only there?
In a
And it
straight
made
line.
no sense.
I have a guess.
Go ahead.
Well, it's either like
I'll be surprised if you guess.
something dug a tunnel and it
Interesting idea, but
sunk. No. Or there's like a drain that goes through there that.
Also not true. No, it's our family pets, the groundhogs. That,
Right.
that
Live
hang
under
out-
our shed.
Well, they just walk that way to go to the next
Oh, it's
neighbor's
just
yard.
them walking.
It's like
their-
belly just dragging across
They
the
are
grass.
they are huge. At least the
You have the healthiest groundhogs.
The parents are.
they are
And lastly,
giant.
every morning, it's the beauty of having them as pets because we get to enjoy when they have little babies and they're funny and we get to laugh and they scurry and Rachel talks, Bella talks to them out the window and
I say
everything else.
hi.
But we don't have to do anything for them. Wait, oh boy, this is terrible. Oh, so the other morning, I look out, and the thing is about groundhogs is once the babies get big enough, the parents like make them leave.
Okay.
Like, they force
Evict
them
them.
out.
So I'm a groundhog.
You are.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I was looking at the one groundhog, and she was just sitting there, and like it was 8:30 in the morning, and I thought, I wonder if they're thinking like, a couple more days of this crap. Just
Right.
a couple more days, and your ass is out of here.
Making them Italian like you do with all your characters.
The good ones.
The Italian
when
groundhogs.
When I do the Bible, Jesus is always Italian, and the Pharisees are always British.
Interesting.
Do you make the disciples Italian, right?
If it's a good disciple, yeah.
Well, especially the
I mean, if they're in a good
13th.
place. Stu. No, he's Pittsburgh.
He's Pittsburgh.
Yeah, the 13th. You and Sky's going down Mary Magdalene's house. I wonder if what they say is true. Hey, what's new with Bella Bean?
Oh, so much.
There's so much is going on.
So much is going on.
So let's just start off. Well, I want to start off by thanking everybody who sits at the table every week, but specifically, we would like to highlight those who sit at the head of the table. And that is Groot from the Hooked on Jesus podcast, Laurie Ann, Bethany Jaworski, Mary Lynn, Ashley Cesarato, and our boy Breaking 90. Oh, yeah. Bella's big time. We got everybody hanging out here
I'm
tonight. We got
popular.
Charter Boy, Epic Edits, and of course, I think that is your Alex, isn't it?
Oh, that is Alex.
Oh, there you are.
But none of those other names are.
Not.
We feel like this is the
off
Bella
top of
fan
my
club
head.
showing
that
up.
That has to be
live tonight.
Alex.
It is. It's almost as if somebody texted her and and let them know. So the point of the story is
I've
this.
been bamboozled. Hi, Alex.
They sit at the head of the table because they go to lunchtimeinrome.com and they become a paid subscriber. So you'll note that we don't have advertisements or advertisers because we don't want to be beholden to them.
Oh,
We
yeah.
want to be beholden to those who sit at the head of the table. So, like, there's sometimes I want to talk about something, and Breaking 90 is like, nah, man, I wouldn't do that. And I'm like, all right. No, I'm just kidding. I don't do that.
Happens
at
all the time.
Groot's like, okay, let's not talk about that emotional need. All right, pal? No, I'm just kidding. So, if you would like to join them, it's been a while. We keep teasing that we're going to work on a little incentive or something like that. So, stay tuned for that. Now, with that being the case, Bella,
Yes.
I wasn't even here, I don't think, last time you were at the table.
No.
So this is really, is that your second time or is this your
This
second
is
time?
my third.
Right, that's what I thought.
There was one time, long
Just a
time
wee little
ago.
one.
I think it was right after I did Little Women. Or was it right after?
No.
It was right after. It was a long time ago.
Oh, at least Little Women.
Were we down in this studio yet?
No, we were up there.
Your first time was still upstairs. Yeah.
First time was upstairs. Then last time was right after my fall semester of my freshman year.
Okay. And your dad wasn't here for that one.
No,
Where'd he go?
I don't know. He disappeared.
We were somewhere. Rachel and I had gone somewhere.
Okay. I wonder if I was here.
I think you were.
I don't have a memory
think
for
it
those
was-
things.
I think it was me, you, Eric, Brian. I don't know.
That would make sense.
That sounds right. But
Well, okay, so give us a scope, Bella, the wide shot of like, for people who don't know, and we're saying, oh, it was, back this time, that time. Where are you right now in life?
right now,
Yes.
I'm about to be a junior in college. I'm working at Mohan's a lot. And what else?
Well, that's okay. So, and your age is now?
Oh, I am 20.
Okay. So it's been about a year and a half.
Yes.
You have become, instead of one of the underclassmen, you are now going to be an upper.
I don't like that.
Yeah, no?
Don't say that. It's weird.
Is it
Upper class person, thank you.
daunting? Like, what is
A
it?
little. It's scary because like the end of my most recent semester, one of the things I had to do for my class that's like majoring in psych, which every psych major has to take, it was like, what do you want to do with the next 2 years? What are you going to do after you graduate? And I was like, no, I'm not. No,
You don't want to think about that yet.
I do not.
Yeah.
So it's daunting.
Is
but
it like high school? I feel like I'm so far out of college, like I don't even remember.
what
like,
year did you graduate college?
From college.
From college?
99.
Oh,
Back in the 19s.
the 1900s.
Yeah. But no, like, so you're going into your junior year, but like in high school, you know how like if you're going on to college or whatever you're going, on to next, a lot of times you're thinking about it in your junior year. You don't wait
Right.
until your senior year because then you're putting it off. Like, do you feel any of that kind of pressure that you have to like start thinking about it sooner than later, or do you feel okay with?
I know.
And I apologize if I'm applying pressure
No,
right
no,
now.
no, you're fine. I think I definitely am feeling a little bit of like, kind of have to start figuring it out.
Yeah.
Like, it'll end sooner than you know it.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, in high school, I didn't know what college I was going to until my senior year.
Okay.
Like, I didn't apply to Mercyhurst until the beginning of senior year, toured it, and then almost didn't go to Mercyhurst
Yeah.
because I was almost committed to Allegheny, and I was like, oh, we'll just visit Mercyhurst to like check it off our list. And I was like, oh,
So sorry, I was out for a second.
Nobody knew.
Nobody knew.
No one
We were
noticed.
hiding it well.
so sly.
So what are you going to college for again?
I am a major in psychology with a minor in social justice, which is mainly social work because they don't have a social
Right.
work major anymore.
Yes, I knew that.
That's a development from the last time I was here.
Okay.
Was the social work minor.
Taking on the minor.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Be-
But you have stuck. Now, when did you declare a major originally?
When I applied.
Yeah. So you've stuck with
I've stuck
psychology
with psych,
major the
'cause
whole
I know,
time. That's
I remember the last time I was here, I was like, I don't know.
yeah.
But
You're feeling better about it.
I'm feeling better about it.
That's-
And also,
Awesome.
yes, thank you. I'm feeling better about it, but also if I did want to change it, now I'm like, a little too late.
It's right. It'd be like, well, another 2 years of school or something. Yeah.
Let me add on some more years to that. But with the minor, it's not that bad. Like, I added it on my spring. No, the very beginning of spring semester, even though I should have done it in the fall. I emailed her and she never saw it. And then like a couple months later was like, you need to send me this thing. And I was like, oh, I did. I would like that minor, please. And then I got it. So
And Mercyhurst not being a huge school, but I'm sure there's still. And again, we're looking ahead, but like, do they provide like job fair opportunities, things for you to like hopefully get or internships and things like that you
they
can
do.
start
There's
getting ready
definitely,
for?
well, I can talk to my advisor at any time and be like,
Tobin.
Tobin, Dr. Tobin, great guy.
I like him.
He's cool.
I want to go backwards. Let's go all the
Okay.
way back to Eric. What's going on with you?
Oh,
Not even in this moment, but maybe in this moment.
no, we're not going to talk about that. I'm trying to just think about what I dude, I don't know.
These podcasts creep up on you, man.
Dude. Well, today's been a marathon. Let's just talk about today.
How about today?
So today,
Tell me
dropped,
about
Today.
okay. So here's the big thing that happened this week. Maggie's last day of kindergarten was yesterday.
First grader.
Oh.
First grader, and it was great. They had a ceremony for the kids and the parents. They did a great job. Like it's like the school that Maggie goes to. It's just like they do everything with purpose, and it was just really nice. Not a dry eye in the house with the slideshow that they did. They sang 3-4 songs. For a little performance.
And it got a DeVita, so it went a little long.
yeah. And it was great. Every kid got an award that was, for them.
Apropos.
Right. And so Maggie got the Three Musketeers Award
Oh.
because she works so well with others with anything.
Aw.
So I was like,
Man,
yes.
you want that.
That
I
is a
know.
good award.
Yeah, that was a really good award, and I'm really proud of her because it wasn't like just you're the fun kid in class that loves to sing and be a distraction.
You're so
Yeah.
You're the
silly.
high energy kid.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that kid. It's but I'm just glad she's got a good heart. and that she-
Teacher here.
yeah, but I'm glad she's got a good heart and she just works well with people and
She
gets
loves
along.
nougat.
What?
Three Musketeers.
Oh, there it is.
Is there nougat in there?
No, it's
It's like
whatever
a
that
different.
chocolate.
I believe it's whipped nougat.
Yeah,
I like it.
Whip something. I do like a.
That
Three
is my.
Musketeers,
I think that's my
Not a
number
lot,
one.
but-
That was a kid who sat beside me in science.
Whip nougat.
Whip
Yeah.
nougat.
But very proud of her. She's
Yeah.
doing so good.
And then what happened afterwards?
After the ceremony.
Yeah.
Oh, did somebody tell you?
No.
Are you serious?
I was trying
you
to cue
know.
up softball.
No. So this is the funny
no.
thing. Okay, so afterwards, it was we got there like at 9:30. The program's like an hour, and then we go to a park nearby.
Oh.
So you didn't know this? Okay,
I did not.
I thought maybe
The Lord
maybe Amy
spoke to me, though, and said, mention after.
Yeah. So
What's
okay.
after
Very
So
obedient to the Holy Spirit.
no, it is funny that you said that because I was on the fence of bringing this up. So, after the program, everybody's invited to go to a park nearby, and
It's a nice park down bottom of the hill.
yeah,
By Ardmore.
Forest Hills Park. Yeah,
Yeah, great park.
Yep, and cupcakes and all that. So we go down there, and there's like already people there, and a good bit of people, and buses.
Oh.
So we pull in, and there's all these high school kids from Woodland Hills,
No.
which is not the school that Maggie goes to.
No.
And
Nor high school.
nor high school. And we're just kind of there. All the parents are getting there from after being at the program at Maggie's school, and we're just like, this is not
Yeah, that's rough.
appropriate. Like I'm fine with Woodland Hills kids, but
Sure.
like it was, we got kindergartners.
Yeah, when you have high school
and
kids
high
running around the
schoolers
park,
Yeah.
and a
doing-
lot of high schoolers. They
Yeah.
dropped 4 busloads off,
You-
and they were going back to the high school to get 4 more.
Oh my
and it was
gosh.
already crazy crowded.
Yeah.
Let's just throw this out there. Kindergarten Christian school kids.
Yeah.
Very public school senior.
Yes.
Kids.
Yes. So a little bit of a difference. A little bit. And so we were like, well, what do we do? So we
Are there people from your school there?
yes, like people were starting to show up.
I mean, like staff.
Like staff, right?
Okay.
I don't know because I don't know all the staff. I don't know all the staff,
Sure.
so there might have been somebody there, but I knew that the head of staff or principal wasn't there, and Maggie's teachers weren't there yet. So I have a feeling one of the parents that was there maybe messaged. So then we decided to pivot and go to Lions Park, which is another great park, and it's gotten even better because there's a whole like water spray area now, which is really cool. We'll definitely go back. They've been building it up a little bit. It's on the other side of Greensburg Pike. But it was just funny because I was like, oh, this is not good. So what happened was
happened?
their
What happened
their
was-
day. They do this senior picnic at the end of the year.
Sure.
That was scheduled for the week prior.
However,
Too cold.
It's been a little
Too rainy.
rainy around
A
here.
little bit chilly.
So they rescheduled it to that day, and we didn't reserve the park because nobody's ever there. Like not like that.
Right.
So so we left. But yeah, it was a great time. it ended up being like it's one of those things where we were like, oh no, this is bad, and then it turned out to be really great. It was really fun at the other park.
Like you said, you just had to pivot.
We just had to pivot. Yeah, but today's been a marathon. Maggie had a game tonight. It was awesome. They won again. They're on a hot streak. Maggie has yet to strike out. She's hit every time she's up at bat.
Nice.
She played
I know
first
that's
base
right.
tonight, and the other team hit the ball to our pitcher. Pitcher threw it to Maggie at first base, got her out. It was awesome. It was a
Taunted
great
her.
moment. Crowd erupted. It was just really great.
Crowd was chanting, nougat.
What a terrible chance.
So it was just a lot of fun. She's living her
I'm gonna
best
start
summer
calling her
already.
nougat. Whipped.
Whipped.
Hey, lots of people with us. First of all, Alex has already pointed out the Van Halen vinyl that's behind Bella.
Yeah.
And
You know what's up.
via text, by the way.
Oh,
not
okay.
Via comment.
Alex is texting you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Maya pointed out that the cover picture she took.
That is true. We were at Niagara Falls.
And if you want to listen
nice.
to Bella's first time at the table, you're going to have to go back to July of 21.
Eesh.
So she's
Wow.
July of 21, December of 23, and then tonight.
Now.
Now, December of 23, apparently, even though I wasn't here, you said, well, it was a rough first semester.
But it can't get worse than that. Oh, it got so much
She's been
worse
locked
than
and
that.
loaded for this.
It got so much worse. So
Now I know I was here because I remember that quote.
Yeah.
yeah, I was listening back the other week. It was like right when I got home. And I was listening to it just because it had been a minute. And I remember hearing that. And I immediately went downstairs and was like, I know what I have to do when I go on next. That was just, it got so much worse. And it's true.
That's a a tall order, or a lot. It's a lot to process when you think you are. I've experienced the worst
Right.
that
Yeah.
college
Over the
has
hump.
to offer. Yeah, now
Yep.
we'll see what even if it's incremental steps, it's going to get better.
And then
But it didn't.
it got worse. It's like, oh, we're good. Yay. Boom. And then
If you had to generalize, and you're free to get as specific as you want,
Who we throwing under the bus tonight? Let's go.
oh,
you don't have to tempt Bella with a grudge.
oh, I've got many in my pocket.
Oh,
but
you're
I
your
feel
mother,
like-
are you?
So
Oh,
you-
yes.
they've met.
We've met.
It's great being in between them sometimes. You had original roommate problems
Yes.
fall of freshman year. But then go into post that the blessing that you received with your next roommate.
Well, they are watching the
We've
podcast.
mentioned them already.
Alex, shout out to Alex. Alex approached me. I was living by myself at this point. Gina, my ex roommate, already moved out. We were in psych class, and Alex came up to me and was like, "Hey, I heard you are looking for a roommate. I'm looking for a roommate. My roommate is bad."
Now, were you guys buds at this point, or
Oh yeah, that's my
Not
question.
really. Like we
Okay.
knew each other.
just like from
You'd spent
class?
time
I was
together.
more friends with Maya because we were in choir together.
Got
Okay.
it.
But I like knew of Alex and had a couple conversations.
Okay.
But you only had classes with her. You weren't in like musicals or anything like that.
No.
Got it.
But you had told me over the parent weekend when we were at like the biggest kerfuffle of your first
Oh,
roommate
yeah.
situation that this new friend Alex was sitting on your bed and like ready to go fight your
Oh,
original roommate. And I'm like,
That is
That's a good
true.
friend.
I'm liking this, Alex. It's about time you had one of them have your back friends.
Yeah.
That is true. That was I forgot that was before they approached me. We're just hanging out.
Word.
But Alex approached me and was like, "Can we be roommates?" And I was a little hesitant, I'll be honest, because I was just nervous. And I was like, "Sure."
We're coming off of a horrific.
a horrific roommate situation.
That's well
Like
done.
that.
But
And so she saved the day, at least for freshman year.
Alex saved the college experience for me.
That's very good.
Because after Gina, I was by myself for a little bit. And that was sad. Because I was just waking up, going to class, going back, doing nothing, hanging
Yeah.
out with no one. Because didn't have a roommate. But then Alex moved in, I think on Halloween. I think that was when they got all of their stuff. And then Now we're best friends.
Oh, Halloween.
Yeah.
Not even second semester.
Not even second semester.
Okay.
All of the big roommate drama happened from August when I moved in
Yeah.
to like October 15th,
Okay.
roughly.
In second semester.
Second semester of my freshman year was much better because I had Alex and Maya was there all the time and I had two best friends and we are still very good friends. And going into sophomore year, I was going to live with Maya and then our two friends at the time.
Keep it there.
Oh boy.
Two friends at the time. I will not name names.
And you were close.
We were close.
Well, but I did that on purpose. No, I did
What
that-
were they?
Close. No, I did that on purpose because, like, you and Alex and Maya were besties.
Yes.
The other two you were friends with, more the one than the other.
Yes.
But friends.
But friends.
Close.
Close. And so.
Man, living together can like reveal so much.
Oh, and it did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we move in to Ryan Hall, and it's the four of us. Maya and I are in one room, and the two of them are in the other room.
It's like a suite.
Yeah, it was 2 rooms, 2 bathrooms, a living area, and like a kitchen, but no stove or microwave.
Okay.
We brought a
Kitchenette.
microwave. Kitchenette, yes. And it started off fine, but then like just here and there Maya and I were catching weird vibes. They would set rules that only really applied to us. And
Oh, that's the best.
long story
Nothing
short.
I like more than a rule that only applies to me.
Yeah.
Oh, then again,
Who are they? The government?
you've met my wife.
Now, can I ask, being the thoughtful person
And I
that you
say that
are,
with love.
Yes.
do you like at first at least like were you like, why is this happening? And were you like self-analyzing at all?
Yeah, well, also because I was like, this is my second roommate problem. Am
Okay.
I the problem?
Okay,
And then
okay.
Maya was there being like, no, girl, you're not the problem. But I really wanted to stay friends with them. Long story short, 2 roommate mediations and a lot of small fights
But
and
wait,
pettiness.
break that down.
Ooh, break that
Mediation
down.
with
With an RA?
With
or-
an RA.
Okay. Sorry to answer.
And you wanted to stay friends with them. What are your highest needs? No. Yeah.
I don't remember my needs. I took
Jay?
well, it's certainly support.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
Security would be up there as well,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
Acceptance? Or belonging?
Friendship.
Yeah, acceptance for sure.
Yeah.
Being loved even though you've made a mistake, and belonging.
Yeah. Because and that makes sense with the way you wanted to remain friends, even though like
Like you never want somebody to be mad at you. You
Right.
never want to screw up at work.
No,
Right.
no, no,
I mean
no,
that's
no.
just forget about it.
right.
Right.
Yeah. So like that makes sense, but it's also horrible because like you're not in the wrong. Yeah.
Right.
Woof.
Woof indeed. But yeah, 2 mediations with RAs later, Maya and I decided to move out. And it was funny because I was, again, like gripping to this friendship, like trying to fix it. Meanwhile, Maya's like, let's get out of here. Like,
Burn it all
screw them,
down."
burn it all. But then
Scorched
one
earth.
day, I love telling people this just because it's so petty and stupid what
Let's
they
hear
did.
it. I want to hear it.
Oh, this is a great story.
Which one do you think I'm going to tell?
The supervision on moving.
Oh, well, that. I was going to tell a different one. I walked out into
tell
our
both.
common garbage.
Common garbage area.
That's
It's
what I
good to
called
walk
the
into
apartment is the
common
common
garbage. Yeah.
garbage. What I meant to say was we had a common garbage can in the like common area that we all shared.
Right.
And I went to go throw something away, and sitting on top of the garbage was a Polaroid of me and the one girl I wanted to stay really close friends with. She had put it in the garbage.
Face up.
Face up.
Face up so I would see it because it's not like they had a trash can in their room and in
Yeah.
their bathroom.
Right. And if you
Yeah.
don't want somebody to find that, you crinkle it up and you
cut it
shove
up into little bits and
under-
pieces
Shove
and-
it under other garbage.
So
Yeah.
not only does this girl feel like, okay, we're not going to be friends,
dead
Bella.
to me.
I'm going to act
She's
like I'm
also
12.
going to shove it in your face.
So
and-
bad. That's so bad.
I literally was like not even that upset. I just thought it was funny that I was thinking of her in her room being like, you know what'll really get her? What'll really hurt her feelings if I put this
Well,
picture in
did
our
it?
garbage? Kind of.
Yeah.
To be fair, you're
kinda
talking
works.
about it on a podcast.
But that's
7
because
months
it's
later.
funny.
It is petty and funny and
But you
horrible
did.
at the
But
same
you
time.
did. You know, there was part of your heart that wanted to stay friends.
Yes.
And you were trying to move in that direction.
Very much so.
And she's got a father who's instructing on
Right.
being above reproach. Don't
Yep.
let him have any, got a mother saying, stab him in the face.
Punch him.
And a father that's saying, we have to understand, you don't want him to come against you with anything. You want to be above reproach, everything else. And then my favorite story was the roommates had moved out for Christmas first.
Because
And
we
so
were
they put-
planning on moving out. Everyone was leaving, I think, December 10th. But we were staying the extra day and moving out after break had technically started.
Because you were moving out, not
Yes.
just going
Out,
home
out.
for break.
Leaving.
So were the other two keeping the suite?
Yes.
Okay.
Got it.
Which wasn't like what we wanted, but it's what we had to do.
And so an RA shows up and says, we've been
An
asked.
RA and the hall director, like of the entire
you can tell your
building.
story.
Well,
What's
is
a
that
hall
okay?
director? What's the difference between a
okay?
hall director and
Well-
an
Nobody
RA?
wants to be a roommate.
Like the whole floor.
The whole floor.
We get a knock, and Maya and I are like deep into packing at this point. We open the door, and she goes, "Hi, we got a request for you guys to have an RA watch you guys while you pack, so you don't steal anything." And Maya and I were just like, "What?" So
to be fair to the RA, they were like, I
Yeah.
really don't want to be here, but there
we
was,
don't have the
Sure.
There
resources
was a
for
request.
this.
I have to do
Yeah.
the request.
Yeah,
since
they
there
were
was a
like, we don't
request."
think you would do this, and we also
Right.
don't have the resources to do that. We just wanted to let you know, don't steal anything. And we
Okay.
were like, that's crazy. All right, because they had moved all of their stuff out of the common area and put it in their room.
I feel like I would have stolen something after they said that.
We should've.
Like I wasn't gonna steal anything. Now I'm stealing something.
We should have, but we didn't.
That's so bad.
But then you discovered that they had put some of your stuff in their room.
Yes, Maya
What?
had in the kitchen one of those like dish mats, like that you put dishes on for it to dry. And we were like, where is it? Because there was two of them. We had one of them. And so
Isn't that great? You
So
gotta
they
give it to
knew.
them. You gotta
Well,
give
so
it to
they
them.
It's almost
knew-
like they set them up.
They set them up
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
that they could say they stole something.
Yeah.
So what did you do?
Well, I opened the door to their room because I tried to like stick my phone underneath to get like a video, but it didn't fit.
Then your phone goes through.
Well, because we were like,
They
what
stole
if?
my phone.
Because we were like, what if they put a camera in there, like a trap
Right,
to
right.
to see if we open the door? They
and the RA is
they weren't that
is
smart.
not here.
They
at
were
this
gone
point.
at this
Yeah.
point. They
Yeah.
left, and we see that they have the other dish mat.
Right.
And so Maya and I at this point are so mad. We go and find, because they're doing room checks, so there's a bunch of RAs hanging out. We go to them and we're like, we think they have it. Can we take it? And they were like, we don't think you should do that. You should reach out to them. And we were like, well, we're not doing that, so we're just gonna lose the dish mat.
I would have put it in
Yeah.
their bed, like a horse head. You know?
I know what
We
you
know.
It's very Eric. It's very Eric. That's how he rolls, man. You don't mess with him. So all that to say, it couldn't get worse until it did.
Yeah.
But in a way, this time at least you weren't alone.
Right.
And
I
that
had
never
someone
really
else.
occurred to me. I mean, you guys were going through this together.
Yes. I was leading Maya through it because she had no problems with her freshman year roommate. And I was like, I have experience.
Okay, so I know we started this off by saying like it could get way worse, and I'm not disparaging your feelings at all, but I think I'm backing up what your dad's saying in that at least you weren't alone, right?
Right.
That's the first part.
Yeah.
But the second part is in Alex and Maya, Bella has now having gone through this, received the best friends, with all due respect to your Penn Hills friends, the best friends she's ever had. So she's had the worst of the worst,
Right.
but has received the best
Yeah.
of the best. And they get along with the Penn Hills friends and everything
Yes.
else. And
Penn
talk-
Hills friends love Alex and Maya. Alex and Maya love the Penn Hills friends.
Everybody loves Alex and Maya.
Yeah, they're great.
Everybody loves
Well,
everybody.
not your roommates from this fall,
no,
but still.
not
they
them.
don't count.
They're
real
dead
people.
to us.
They're dead to me.
But that leads me to this, though. Talk about when you hung out with your Penn Hills friends, the observation you had of the existing friendships, and yeah,
Oh, okay. Took me a second. Me and my friends had hung out.
friends and I.
Thanks, Dad.
Thanks, Dad.
On behalf of your grandmother, God rest her soul.
But we were hanging out and we were talking. Like, my one friend Annika was like, it's really nice. Like, because we all go to different schools, we can kind of all leave and come back and know that like there hasn't been any internal conflict. And I was like, to myself, I was like, it's kind of like when I'm home, my home friends, we're a sitcom and it ends on a good note. And then we all go to our separate sitcoms, and that's where all of the like crazy things happen.
That's where you get your material.
It's where I get my material. And then we all come back and resume where we left off, which was good. And so it's nice to have the two different worlds there.
And none of you really overly communicate during the school year.
No, absolutely not. I don't talk to most of
Which is an interesting
them.
observation. And I wonder if that's generational.
Yeah.
You know, because I mean, I would talk to like my best friend when I was in college. I would talk to him, but nobody really else. But he and I were like best friends in high school.
Right.
Whereas like you guys are like, all right, I'll see you at Thanksgiving. I'll see
Yeah.
you at Christmas.
My friend Becca, shout out Becca, has a reminder on her phone. She'll text like all of us like once a
She's
month.
that friend.
Yeah, and just being like, how are you? How are things? Like, how's school? But
She's a
She's an
Midwestern,
86-year-old.
how are
she's a
you?
Midwestern mother.
How are
How
you?
are things?
How are things? How's school? No, but she does do that. But with all my other friends, like I'll send them TikToks occasionally, or we'll like have a small conversation in a group chat. But we are not talk every day type of people, and kind of like it that way.
Sure. Yeah.
On one hand, it's definitely a generational thing. Clearly not for you because you do what I did, but like back in the day, we didn't have cell phones, or I mean we had email, but even back then that wasn't like an easy, enjoyable way to communicate.
Not in my day, we didn't. Email was just starting.
Okay, right.
Old
right, right.
competition.
Shout out Dan Leopold. If he called me and I said for 1 second, hold on a sec, click, because it would be on his bill for calling.
Gotcha.
He's like, I am not paying for you to be put me on hold. And
There
then
was
I
a
would
thing
have to call
called
him
long
back.
distance, Bella.
I
yeah.
know that.
Yeah.
That's great.
Oh, that was a
That's
classic
so Dan.
move.
Yeah, that's so
Classic
Dan. I
Dan
love
move.
that. I love that.
One more thing before we go elsewhere. What did you learn? Because a lot of your problems, I mean, it's never 100-0.
Right.
It's never just one person's fault when there's conflict. What did you learn?
Except when it's Bella.
Correct. With this most recent roommate thing, like what could you have done differently? Because this is a relational podcast. We talk about relationships. You've got a father who guides you through it forcefully, but and a mother who encourages you in many different ways. So, like, what could you have done differently? Like, what did you learn about conflict? Because I think that was the topic. Or that was the cause. Is that, there were conflict, but it wasn't handled well. Certainly by them. But what could you have done differently?
Whoa.
Sorry.
No, you're good. That was impressive. Going back, I think just being more direct with it. I think because I was kind of scared of them.
You're skirting around it.
Yeah, I was like skirting
Yeah.
around it, like letting it build up
I get that.
and that kind of thing. Because I was like, it's going to be a whole thing. Like, they're going to be a fight. So I didn't bring things up.
Sure.
I feel like I should have brought things
Yeah,
up.
I can totally relate to that with having the high need of acceptance and belonging, because like you don't want to upset somebody and you don't want them to be mad at you.
Right.
But in the meantime, like
But it'll get worse.
Yeah.
If you
It builds
don't
up.
handle it.
Right.
Right. And it's just going to get harder to handle the situation as you let time go on.
For sure.
Yeah.
have you accepted though that like you could have done things differently and you could have, but the end result is a little bit out of your control. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I almost feel like from the outside looking in, like those two were like there was some sort of something they were getting from it. You know what I mean? Like that they
Yeah.
almost like the acceptance belonging with the two of them somehow against you guys. You know what I mean? Like they
Yeah.
took like almost like the bad guy approach to working together.
Well,
and-
they had the other people do their dirty work. Like instead of coming to, and this is kind of a dumb example, but instead of coming to Bella and Alex, like,
This was with Maya.
or with Maya, like, hey, don't steal our stuff. That's all we ask. they went around and
Right.
spoke to the RA. You know, like they, you know,
But I think long before that, you know, they, and again, this is armchair, but
yeah.
I observe. Would you agree, Bella? They have a high need of respect and a high need of security being control.
Oh yeah.
And so they're trying to control the environment
Yeah.
out of their need for security.
I always
If
forget about
they don't-
control being
Part of security.
Part of security.
Sure.
Yeah.
And then when they don't do exactly what they want, well, you're not respecting me. Then when they don't approach them because they've been bullied not to, and that's not, I mean, Maya was a warlord. She's ready to go. But Bella's not going
She was ready to set
And
everything
I
on
say
fire.
That, a
Yeah,
lovely
yeah.
warlord. by the way.
Yeah. Yeah. Maya's great.
Shout out Maya.
But then, you know, they'll go somewhere else and they talk about their problems. Well, that gets back to the other roommates. Well,
Yeah.
now you're done.
Right.
You know, the high need of belonging, respect,
Yeah.
everything else.
Yeah.
So that's shut off. Where, you know, the lesson being to be open, to be honest, you know,
And vulnerable.
and vulnerable. To do those three things heads a lot of that off. Then your mother would add, and tough. Because
Right.
you could have been
Because
open,
that
honest,
is
and
tough.
vulnerable, and they'd have crapped all over you. So then
Yeah.
you'd have to follow it with, and be tough. And say,
Yeah.
no, you know, that's it. And so it's a tough life lesson, but a good one that I think, you know, you guys, you and Maya, had the opportunity to room next year with somebody, remains nameless, and then they realized, oh no.
Yeah.
Can't do that.
We don't want to do that. And so you guys had to be open and honest
And
with
vulnerable.
them
And it
say,
didn't
we're much
go
better friends than we would
great.
be roommates.
Yeah.
And that didn't
Yeah.
go fabulously, but
And now you're not even friends. So
Oh.
we blew it all.
Yeah.
But better not to be friends than to be
Then
ex-roommates.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because once you live together, that's
See, we've gone over Alex and Maya and what a saving grace that has been. But tell us about your time in college theater department versus high school and maybe the influence that Dr. Johnson has had.
okay. Dr.
Because I
Johnson.
think that's a very big positive of your college experience.
Oh, for sure.
And it contrasts, but also parallels your high school experience.
Dr. Johnson is my director at college, and he is probably my favorite director I've ever had. Respect to Ben Blinn and Mrs. Davidson, not, you know,
Not related.
not related.
You're not related to Ben?
But it's so different because of Dr. Johnson. I remember we had a meeting my freshman year, and he was like, so this is a no drama theater department. If I hear you,
Yeah, right. That's funny.
He's got jokes, this guy.
he's got jokes. But he was like, if I see you trying to start anything, you will be kicked out and you will never perform in a show here again.
I like this guy.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. And there has been,
A lot of drama, but previously, like in high school and stuff.
Or in every theater
Or in
department,
every
am I
theater.
in
right?
high
Yeah.
school, it was a lot of drama, lots of he said, she said.
I can tell you it continues on in the professional arena too.
What?
I know
That's
from
crazy.
my brother.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I see.
But at least where I am at Mercyhurst in this, there has been very minimal drama. And the one thing that I did have drama with my freshman year has been taken care of. There was I guess I didn't talk about this last time because it didn't happen yet. During Three Penny, there was a guy who was a transfer from India,
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. guy.
Parth.
Cultural differences.
And he was weird with a bunch of the girls during Three Penny, just being like oddly close and touchy,
Which was a show.
which was a show.
Okay.
It is they called it like a play with music. It's not really a musical. He did not care for it.
That's a musical.
It
Girl.
was only 2 penny.
It was a halfpenny.
A hey penny. But
Hey, Penny.
But where it started with me, the whole drama was it was like the first day we had on our costumes, and he saw me and he went, "Whoa, looking at you, makes me want to whistle at you." And I was like,
That's weird.
"That's weird."
It's not
and then
even good creep.
yeah, no. And then like I could just tell he was like looking at me weird, and then one day I was whistling one of the songs to myself and he said, "See, even you want to whistle at yourself."
Oh gosh, so creepy.
and I was like, "I know he did not."
It
So
is
I-
like hide you in your closet creepy.
yeah, that's weird. That's really weird.
he hides in my closet. That's what. Wait,
everybody's
no,
hiding
he would
in a
do
closet.
That. He would do that.
That's what I meant.
Oh no. Oh no.
That might be the drop.
No.
So, but not staying in the negative, but
Right.
moving on to the positive. Dr. Johnson's been great, has been great.
He's been
and
And
wonderful.
he nipped that in the butt. Did you,
Oh yeah,
you
I
brought it
told
up?
him.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Well, what do you exactly want me to do?" And I was like, "I don't know. Like, tell
Fire
him to
him.
not," because I knew at this point he couldn't really kick him out of the show. But Dr. Johnson did after one night we had like notes after a rehearsal, and he kind of did a vague respect talk. And I was like, I could tell it was kind of pointed at Parth. And so when we all stood up to go,
He's looking directly at Perth the whole time.
I looked at Dr. Johnson and I mouthed, "Thank you." And he went, "Oh, I'm not done."
Oh.
And I was like,
Oh.
all right. And then Parth did not bother me for the rest of the show. He wouldn't
you
even
go.
look at me.
There you go.
So Dr.
then-
Johnson's a real one.
And you were in the best musical ever made this fall,
Yeah, I
Spring?
was.
Fall?
Spring.
spring. Wow, gosh.
The show's called Ruthless.
It
It was
just
the
happened.
best. It just
It
happened.
was cold.
Well, it was like
Oh,
February.
that's right, because it was, yeah. But how great was that? Because you were only one of 6 cast members.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah, that's amazing.
It's a very small show. We were gonna do
Gosh, so good.
a big show. We were gonna do 9 to 5, but then we had no dudes. So they were like, let's do a show that is a cast of 6 and all women. And I was one of those 6, and it was one of the best shows I've ever done. And it was so much fun and so
What was that
funny.
one called?
Ruthless.
Okay.
So good.
It
Oh,
sounds
yeah,
like a
your dad
musical.
Your dad
that I
came
could-
home
yes.
I could sit through, still not buying a ticket.
Well,
Unless
it's
Bella's
over,
in it.
so
No, bro, it was so good.
Yeah.
And Maya was in it. Maya was Peter Pants. Maya got a whole. I mean, her very first scene just hadn't said a word. When the camera goes on her, the place erupts in laughter because she's so ridiculous in her costume.
because she's dressed up as a bad Pippi Longstocking, and she's making
I
the
didn't even understand that.
well, it's because my character wrote a musical, Pippi in Tahiti, and so she got cast as Pippi. But it's just like a horrible wig, a horrible dress,
Yeah.
Bad
stripy
makeup.
socks.
Oh, so good.
I did the big fake freckles, Coke bottle glasses, and she comes out and she has this face that Maya does, and I love
yeah.
Maya. It's the Maya face. She tucks in her chin and does this smile like she's trying.
Yeah.
Then it's just the funniest thing. And when she's not Pippi, but she's her character Louise, she has this blunt bowl cut, Coke bottle glasses, kind of baggy khakis, and a gray shirt. Funniest thing I've ever seen. She would try to come up to us in rehearsals and try to have a serious conversation, be like, "Hey guys, we need to talk," and we would all just start laughing at her because she
She's
looks so
crying, you're
silly.
just laughing.
Pouring
But
out some stories from her past.
but Ruthless was the most fun I've ever had, and it almost didn't happen because of eerie weather, because the snow was causing so many power outages we could not rehearse.
Does snow a little bit up there.
Just a little.
So, Bella, you work at Mohan's, which for those
I
who
do.
aren't local is the local family restaurant,
Mom and pop.
mom and pop shop,
Mm-hmm.
if you will, been around forever. And just talk for a minute, as you are now 20 years old and you are 5 years older than some of the employees there.
Making me sound
I
old.
like where this is going.
No, but I think it's an interesting benchmark in
Yeah.
growing up. One of the first times you realize I'm older than people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, in
That started
elementary
before
school,
I
I'm a
had-
6th grader, you're a 1st grader. Not like that. So what do you
The-
do at Mohan's?
I host, I bus, and I just started doing takeout.
Yeah,
so
girl.
I'm wearing 3 hats.
There you go.
But the feeling old thing started before I even had mild disdain for the teenagers.
Stop right there. That's my point. You can move on. You just said the teenagers.
At teenagers. Because I remember I was talking to one of them and I was like, "Oh, what grade are you going into?" And she was like, "Oh, I'm 15." And I was like, "I'm going to be a freshman in high school." And I was like, "How old were you during the pandemic?" And she was like, "Oh, I was in middle school." And I was like, "Barf, barf, gross." But
What
kids,
bothers you about the younger employees?
these kids and they phones. Hi, Maya.
Hey, Maya's here.
But these kids, I can't do this without sounding ancient, but they just don't do anything unless you specifically tell them, go do this thing. And that gets annoying when
Like
there's
this
a
thing
rush.
meaning
It does.
their job.
Yes. Picking up things from the tables and
It is
Cleaning it,
frustrating,
'cause-
huh? Yeah.
The hosts are all bussers.
Yeah.
So we have to bus tables while they're sitting, like pre-bussing, and then once they leave, pick up all the stuff, wipe the tables, and set them.
There's always something to do.
There's always something to do, and
in a
they are
restaurant.
somehow doing none of them. I don't know. But,
If you're leaning, you could be cleaning.
Ooh, that's a good one.
oh yeah, that
Yeah.
is. They've never said that at Mohan's, but I've heard that said
Yeah.
in media
You
about
could take
restaurants.
You could take it to Mohan's.
I could.
That one's free.
Bring the program to
Put
Mohan's.
up a sign, Bella,
My
that says that.
big word, because she used to work at Dairy Queen. The 16-year-olds would stare at me like I'm nuts when I, their manager, asked them to do their jobs.
That's what I'm talking about.
I know.
And the one the other day said to you, boy, Bella, you really work hard.
Yeah, she was like, I don't know how you do it. And I was like, I do my job. I'm working.
I love it.
But to that end, guess who they really love? The other employees and the manager and the owner of the whole place.
All the lazy kids.
No. Me.
Yes, I could definitely
Of course
tell.
they do.
Definitely.
Whenever
Bella.
it was always nice whenever I would come back for like Easter break or winter break, and just work for a little bit. I would walk in and they would all be like, "Oh, thank God you're here!" Like, because if they don't have a host, if they don't have a host, that's fine. People can seat
Like
themselves.
the waitresses are yeah.
Yeah, the waitresses are fine, but the busing is the real problem when there's no host. So it's always nice when I show up and do my job.
Yeah. And we're trying to teach this to Maggie. Like, if there's a situation and you could offer a helping hand, do it. You know,
Yeah.
like we were early to one of Maggie's games, and before the game starts, the coaches are setting bases up and painting the line, or doing the chalk lines and all that. And I said, "Hey, Buck, go and ask Coach John if he needs a hand with
Nice.
anything." So she goes and asks him, and he's like, "No, I'm good." And then later on, Coach John comes up to us, and he said Maggie came up and asked if she could do anything to help out. And he said no, and she was like, "My dad told me to." But then Coach John said, "I like your dad."
My
like,
dad
"Yeah,
told me
that's
to. Gosh, she's amazing.
That's good parenting. That's
Love
honest kidding.
She's gonna be one of those kids that busses the tables without having to be
Right.
Yeah.
That's
Does
what
her
we're
job.
Start her
trying to do.
working at
She'll have
Mohan's.
some of that Hammond work ethic is what they'll be saying.
Yeah.
But we discovered today, talking about her work today, like, what's the guy's name that was talking to you today, the one cook?
Oh, Lawrence.
Which is such a cook's name. And what did he say to you?
I yawned
Oh.
because I don't sleep well. And he was like, "Oh, the young one's sleeping, or the young one's tired. Aren't you supposed to be full of energy?" And I was like, "No, I'm full of sleepy." Because this was one of today. I worked at noon to 3:30, not a long shift, but somehow the longest shift of my life.
Yeah.
No one was there.
Yeah.
Like there was a
It
period
is
of
boring
time
when there's nothing to
It's
do.
so
It goes by
boring.
so like. Yes, I remember when I was a kid. I used to love when I was checking out at Giant Eagle. Like, I hated being down because like you would just watch the clock and like, I can't wipe this register down anymore.
Right.
Like, it's just so boring. But like when you're busy and you're moving, it goes by so fast. So you just keep busy. But yeah, when it's slow, it sucks.
Yeah, it was so slow. There was a solid period from I think 1:45 to like 2:30 where there was like 2-3 tables.
And that was like
tops.
4 hours.
That felt like a year.
Yeah.
Don't you love when you look at the clock and you're like, why won't you move?
Why do you go backwards?
I looked at you
Did you
5
just go
times.
backwards?
Yeah, exactly.
I thought it was 1. Why is it noon?
How do they do tips at Mohan's?
So
They share?
I don't particularly know, but I don't think so between the servers. But the hosts get
You
tipped
get a
out.
cut.
We get tipped out. So like usually if I'm working noon to 3:30, I'm working with one server. She'll tip me like $5.
Yeah.
And if it's especially busy, she'll tip me 10. Yesterday night, I hosted 4 to 9, and it was crazy. So one of the waitresses tipped me $20, which
Yeah.
isn't
That's a
normal,
big
but
deal,
it's
though.
nice.
That's nice. Because
Yeah.
they probably don't have to do that. No. But if you
No.
want to make good
They
relationships,
have
it's a
to
good thing
tip
do.
us, but it doesn't have to be that much. Like there was
Right.
one person who doesn't work at Mohan's anymore who used to tip me like $1.
Yeah.
And I was like, don't tip me. don't.
Right. It's more of an insult.
Yeah.
Here's
Yeah.
100 pennies.
Like, I cleared all your
Mm.
tables, buddy.
yeah.
Yeah. I lost my train of thought.
It's all right. Well, we're pretty much at the hour mark, but
Wow.
one of the
Time
things
flies.
Holy cow.
we like to ask different guests different things. You're not really a guest, but what are your most hated sounding words?
Oh,
Let's get him on the mic.
let's get him. Oh,
Have you been doing? I'm not usually here when there's a guest.
They normally take your spot.
Oh, this is a whole segment.
I love it.
No,
so
but it might be.
Actually, here's the thing we also do. What is it you like less about Chris? No, I'm just
nothing.
kidding.
Chris is perfect.
That's amazing. Yeah.
Chris is amazing.
Marilyn
Chris is
said.
But a word I cannot stand. Creamy, hate it. It's
Cream.
gross. I hate it.
Creamy, I get.
Yeah. Just like cream in your coffee.
I don't know, just the word like it.
Cream.
Yeah.
I don't know. It heebies my GBs.
I don't know
like
anybody that's ever been weirded
Creamy.
out by that word.
it.
Creamy.
I don't like it.
See, that's why we ask it.
Maya's
it's a good
laughing at
word.
me
It's
in
a
the
good
chat,
word, though.
and
Like-
I'm cringing.
Like
it's
you
bad.
want something to be creamy. Like,
Stop. I don't like it.
it's not like moist.
See, moist doesn't bother me.
Yeah, I knew it. What about pus?
No.
Pants,
Fine.
slacks.
Sure.
Panties.
I don't use that word, but
Right, because it's weird.
but it's not. It's
And their undies.
I don't hate that word.
Chris
though.
is like, I use that word all the time.
Panties.
I'm staying out of that.
Maya asked, "Wait, what's that word?"
Oh, the
Rachel
F
hates.
word.
F-A-R-T.
Yes, not the other F
Oh
word.
yeah, not toot.
She's fond of that.
She will say the other F
alternate
word, but
word for
F-A-R-T.
toot.
Nor,
Yes.
nor, nor.
Toot. Yes, we're a toot family, not a
Yeah.
F-A-R-T family.
Yeah.
Maya, didn't your Maya's
I love that you're
aunt
talking
like
to her.
make? Well,
Yeah.
Maya told me a story of like her aunt made her
Aunt.
kids call it like foo foo or something.
Oh, yeah.
Like they
Oh,
couldn't
you
even
make
say
a little
toot.
foo-foo.
Shooting bunnies.
Little bunny foo foo.
That's what Amy's grandma used to say.
It's a song.
Shooting bunnies, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
little
well,
bunny foo-foo.
hopping through the forest.
Yeah. And when I was in Boy Scouts, there was a exchange scout from England, and he did that song for us.
Little bunny foo foo.
It goes and little who would say it? The
Picking up
farmer?
the fairy.
Oh, the fairy said, "Little bunny foo foo, I don't want you. Pick up all field mice and boop them on his head." And the guy was like 6'3". Pretty awesome.
Sick.
Foo foo.
Foo foo.
Bella, you've got a few weeks before you're back on here again. Could be years. We never know.
Could be decades.
But what do you want to make sure everybody knows about college life, Bella's life, restaurant life, Mitlow life, whatever? What do you want to put out there?
If you're at a restaurant, don't stack your plates, but put all of the dishes and cups and stuff towards the front so the person doesn't have to get into the booth to take them.
Don't stack the. Why not? Don't stack.
Some people, I don't care. I don't care if you stack the plates, but at some restaurants they have like a system. If you are stacking plates, don't let there be food in between the plates.
Right,
Like
right.
if you like
Scrape the plate.
if your plates are scraped, you can stack them.
See, I always go plate, cup, cup.
No,
Is that wrong?
no. Don't put your garbage in your cup.
Yeah.
That's dumb.
Yeah.
Don't do that. College is crazy, and people say it, but it does go by quickly. I blinked and I'm a junior. I don't like that.
So you're coming up on junior.
No, you don't
Yeah,
have to answer
I'm-
all of them. I'm just
Oh.
like, I don't want you to like get in the car and be like, oh, I should have said.
Yeah. So you're going to be a junior.
Yes.
Got it.
Pick your roommates well.
Wisely. Yes.
Pick wisely.
Yes.
Oh, you should give a shout out to Kelly.
Yes,
Finding-
shout out to Kelly. She's probably not watching this, but she took Maya and I in when we moved out because we couldn't just move out and be the two of us on our own. We needed to find someone, and she was there. And Maya already knew Kelly because of Ambassadors, and I knew her a little bit, but she let us live with her.
So
and
find
she's
an
great.
Alex or a Maya. That's what
Find
you
an
need to-
Alex or a Maya in your
And a
life.
Kelly.
and a Kelly.
And a Kelly.
Yeah.
Yeah, find an Alex, find
But
a
it's
Maya.
a cool story
Hold 'em
in that
close.
Kelly had a Albright scholarship student as her roommate who was from Belarus.
Belarus.
Yes, of all the things that are
You
in my
win.
brain. And so when they asked if they could live with Kelly, she was like, "You guys speak English? You'll
You talk to me? You won't take 4-hour baths? What?
That's the Belarusian way."
Wow.
Yeah, but yeah, find yourself some good college friends. You don't need 20.
And they're out there.
And
'Cause
they're
you
out
didn't- I mean,
there.
It took you a couple months.
Because I was like, I have no friends, and now I have like a solid set of
One
friends.
might say it's all about the relationships and meeting each other's emotional needs.
No,
No, nobody says that.
kidding.
All right, that's it for episode 286. Join us next week for episode 287. Between now and then, please give us a like or follow on social media and visit us at lunchtimeinrome.com. While there, you can take our relational needs questionnaire. Please do it. We will send you your results and you can find out more about yourself and what your highest emotional needs are so you can better yourself and help other people. Thanks for joining us at the table for Lunchtime in Rome. See you next week.
Bye.
Toot toot.
Thank you, Epic Edits. Maya, Alex.
Foo foo.
Bye.
Bye.